Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Nomads Fantasy, a weekly movie and video game podcast where we make a new universe our home every week. I would like to welcome our live studio audience on YouTube out there and the millions and millions of you listening at home. Thank you for making us, for inviting us into your ear holes. It is very pleasant of you. This is episode 112 of the Nomads of Fantasy. We are continuing our Summer of Arnold and discussing the 1987 film, The Running Man. Joining us in our studio audience this week, we have Brandon with us.
Hello, cutie pie. One of us is in deep trouble.
Thank you. We also have the butcher of Bakersville, Eric.
Killian, I'll be back.
Well, that works, yeah.
I almost took
It's a
that
repeatable
one.
How can you not?
And we have a special guest today with us, coming to us from Two Idiots and a Dog. Is that correct?
That is correct.
We have Zolgar, a.k.a. Josiah, with us.
You're a brilliant conversationalist, Ben. Trifle limited, but brilliant.
Nice.
So many good ones.
Hold on a second. I thought you were going to take the Here Lies Sub-Zero.
Oh, the Sub-Zero one?
Plain Zero.
Plain Zero.
Dude. It's my favorite quote. I love that one.
That is I don't know if I get that one. Why is it plain zero?
I was wondering
It's so
that
dumb,
too,
I don't know.
Sub-zero.
because it's like
It makes
it's
no
supposed to be
I
the
don't know if I
opposite
get that.
of sub. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because he's now just a plain zero. There's nothing special about him anymore. That's the point of the joke.
Okay, all right.
okay.
See, this is why we
See?
need Zolgar here.
Yeah.
Thank you. He's turning profits for us already.
Yeah.
Zolgar, why don't you, I guess, tell the studio audience a little bit about yourself? If they just introduce yourself to the folks back home.
All right. So I am Zolgar as Dave. I am terrible with names. I will forget names repeatedly.
It's on the screen.
Actually, it's not on my screen. Oh,
Just shake your mouse over my face.
if I have my mouse over the screen, yeah. Okay. So as that weirdo above me, Dave, said, I am from the show Two Idiots and a Dog. So I am a professional idiot.
There you go.
So that
Legally.
I didn't know
Yep.
that was a thing that you could be professionally.
exactly. Hey, politicians do it all the time. Oh, did I say that out loud? So me and my idiot roommate, we discuss movies and other media, similar to what these guys do. We do a bi-weekly show. Also, we use a cute dog very shamelessly in our marketing. Unfortunately, she
I'll
is
take those
too far
easy
away, so I
listens.
can't get her on camera.
Use the dog to any advantage we can get. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Zolgar. It's very nice to have you, and I'm very interested to hear what a fellow old man such as ourselves thinks about this 80s classic, which, I mean, I forgot how 80s this movie was.
It is so 80s.
Definition of 80s action. Jesus.
Oh, my
Christmas.
God.
Absolutely.
There's a thick layer of
But
80s frosting.
but
on
that
top
is
of
like
this,
charming and endearing to a lot of people, right? Because like I was telling you guys, I put this on. Well, Eric, we can go over, but like I put this on Twitter, and like I don't know, maybe it's my timing when I put a tweet out, and maybe people don't engage with it, and other times they do. But this one, holy shit, people had things to say about
lots of people had
the
thoughts.
Running Man of all the all the movies I tweeted.
I
about.
will, of everything that we put out there too. Like, yeah, that one gets the traction. So, Eric, why don't you let us know what the people think?
Yeah,
Let us know what the studio audience has to say.
absolutely. We reached out on Twitter at Nomads of Fantasy, just asking people what they thought of the Running Man. Let's see, who do we got here? Movie Psycho says fun, cheesy Arnold flick. Agreed.
Accurate.
Attitude Era Wrestling Review Podcast says Hunger Games go 80s and I love it. Accurate also.
Sure. Okay.
You could see it.
Yep,
you could
sure.
you could frame
More
it.
American Gladiators, but yeah, okay.
You could frame
We
it
got
that
to
way.
Hunger Games.
Geoffrey Renner writes, says, I like this film so much I spent my day off from the garden center writing a review of it. and he they post a review on Twitter.
It's
so if you want to read that, then
long.
read through it.
It's a funny read.
Which is crazy that a multiple page review of this movie. So I'd be interested to read that. Adapted to Screen podcast says, love this movie. The book was so different, which I don't know anything about the book that this movie is
I always
based on.
forget it's based on a book, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my to read
Stephen
list
King,
now, but it is very well. Richard Bach.
The alias.
Excuse me.
Cinematic Leap says, still love this film. It's perfect 80s action with Arnie at the forefront.
Young Arnie, yeah.
And Why Not podcast says, love it. We did an episode on it. If you're interested in listening, which I am interested in listening, plug their podcast. Damon Noise says, love it despite it being nothing at all like the source material. And that the bad guy, Damon Killian, had the same name as me. That's a rarity to see and hear Damon on the big screen. Which is cool. Ryan Ryder says, Maria Conchita Alonso never looked sexier, and Richard Dawson was never a better game show host.
Yes, I agree with both of those.
Snake Poncher Train. Sorry, I want to get that right. Survey said it was the number one answer. Show me Running Man.
Survey says.
David Steele, I love this movie. Did a podcast about it and had a blast. Quad Pro Quo says love. Picked it for our Arnold Appreciation Month, which we're in the midst of Summer of Arnold. So there you go. We're right there with you. Semi-Skeptic says love it. Jerry Zero says I was 7 years old. It was fucking amazing. Stu World Order says haven't seen it in years, but I loved it as a kid. Fun. And Live Laugh Talk podcast says loved it. Richard Dawson made a great bad guy. Favorite line, Arnold, I'll be back. Dawson said only in a rerun. Last one.
That's good. Good time.
There's a lot of them here, but last one, Miss Topian podcast says that's on my short list of topics to cover in our second season. Haven't seen it in forever, but it touches on some interesting topics: deep fakes, inflation, and a hyper-violent society. I also remember it being supremely stupid, so it's right in my wheelhouse. And there,
all that is
all
very
completely true.
Yeah, and there you have it. Yeah, people seem to like this movie.
Nice,
for sure.
I see here this website is telling me that Arnold Schwarzenegger was 40 years old when he made this movie.
Yeah. We do. We talked about this when we did his movie True Lies. He was like 49.
True Lies. That's insane.
Dude, he looks
old.
Like he's...
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he's in his 70s now.
Yeah.
Well, if he was
he's coming up on
80. 70.
Yeah, because this was in 87, so if he was 40 years old in that, 87 was 35 years ago? No.
36.
We're not,
36 years ago.
We don't claim to be math experts on this show, so check the math if you really want to know.
We are.
Well, either way, I mean, but the guy was doing like
experts.
Mr. Universe shit, building up, bodybuilding and all that stuff first, and then he came to America, right, and started acting like Hercules in New York or whatever that Manhattan or whatever that movie is, and then he
Hercules in New York. It is a terrible film. Well worth watching at least once.
That's what you're saying. I haven't seen it, but I mean, yeah, he got a little later in his career as far as acting, but it's because of like shit like The Rock, right? The Rock didn't go right away into movies. He did wrestling. So
Yep.
40 years old though. I thought he looked like he was like mid 30s in this to me, but
yeah, it's crazy.
I thought he was young. This clean shaven Arnold, and then you got
face.
bearded Arnold for a little bit, and then he's got those high cheekbones. I think maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric, for running us through the social.
Absolutely.
If those at home want to play along with us next week, we're getting into the Tarantino movie Reservoir Dogs. We're just cleaning out Eric's closet.
I know you guys. I feel like you guys are catering to
this
me.
month.
I feel lucky.
well, we're older,
July is
so
the
we've
month
just
of
seen
Eric.
a lot more.
It's true.
Back in my
I think
day.
that's why.
It's true.
But yeah, I don't mind revisiting these movies. But yeah, Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's just
That's a
always good to
classic.
chew on.
Crossing
And I
some
haven't seen it
heavy
since
hitters off the
probably
list.
college.
Oh.
Yep.
So that one, very excited to get that one together, and then we'll have a calendar out with maybe some time for next month. We'll see what's going on then, and we can circle back. But enough of that. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes here.
Let's get into our what are
ladies
those,
and gentlemen.
What are those
The yellow
things? We get into the
jumpsuits. Oh, the vacuum
yeah,
sleds.
It's like the bobsled thing.
Yeah.
Vacuum sleds. Yeah.
Shoot us into Act 2.
Rocket sleds.
Yep.
They were rocket powered.
It is
That's awesome.
time to start running, boys. So
I'm too fat
let's take
to
a little
run.
break. Just shoot you down the tube. But when we come back, we will talk more about the Running Man. Until then,
Don't touch that dial.
see you right after this.
That was good. That was good.
There's so many good ones in this. Oh, thank you.
just
Thank
for
you,
me?
studio
Thank you so
audience. Oh, not everybody at once. Calm down. Calm down. We got a show to run here.
Hold your applause.
Ah.
Throw money.
Please. Big money.
Place your
big
bets.
prizes.
Place your bets right now.
All right. Well, we are back into the Summer of Arnold. It feels good. It's like a warm blanket cuddling back up. It's such a cozy thing to watch. Brandon with his Terminator toys.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, action figures.
It's a doll.
Mhm.
Arnold. It's Arnold.
No, sir, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Sorry, Spaceballs reference thrown in there too. But let's talk about The Running Man. A book written by Stephen King, aka Richard Bachman, came out in 1987. I thought this was a later movie. I thought this was like early 90s, but man,
It screams
this-
80s.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is
It screams
80s.
80s so much.
They had a budget of $27 million on this movie, which
Where'd it go?
seems like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
Listen, they had all kinds of
Dynamo's
pyro
outfit.
effects, costumes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude.
Listen,
Diamond.
I think most of it
that'll
went
be
to
good
Arnold
homework.
Schwarzenegger.
I was gonna say I will take
Yes.
25 million of it,
right?
and $1 million for
It
cigars.
was a.
You got like 500,000 to make a set in costumes. So here you go.
Every time I see him in a movie with a cigar now, I'm like, oh, Arnold's putting that in himself.
Yeah.
Like, we all know what
Oh, yeah.
he's doing.
Predator.
It was a. Movie was a moderate success, I would say, probably.
Okay.
Pulled in 38 million. Had some mixed reviews. But I don't know if anybody has read the book, but there are a lot of differences
have not.
apparently from the book to the movie. Apparently, the movie is much flashier, much more, I guess, I don't know, I want to say exciting, but
There's YouTube videos.
it's got a little
that
more
can-
pizzazz to it.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
YouTube like people that will go and say what's the difference. From what I remember checking this out a long time ago, it's way more political. I know the character's scrawny, and like the main character Ben Richards, and he eventually crashes. He like does this, like a suicide thing, and he crashes his helicopter or something like that into like headquarters and ends it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Damn.
I imagine it was probably much darker tone than this
Yeah.
one.
I want to
Maybe
say
read the
Stephen
book
King
anymore.
probably does not like this adaptation because it's probably nothing like his book.
I think he's
mean,
pretty open that
He's
he does
notorious for
like
not
this.
liking them. Other
Steven,
than,
so they're
Stand
gonna
By
make
Me.
He
a
loves Stand By
movie
Me.
the
Stand By
adaptation
Me,
of your
like we
book.
talked
Oh,
about.
okay. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's gonna be all right. I'm done. I don't need to hear anymore. Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger's gonna be in the run. Get the fuck out of here. That's probably what happened.
Stephen King is probably like, okay, cut me a check and we're good. That's
Yeah,
all I
exactly.
Yeah, he's miserable while he thanks for the money.
Cost
care. I
of
will
living is
cry
pretty
all
low
the
up
way
in
to the
Maine.
bank.
Right.
Exactly.
He's doing all right. Before we dive into it, let's hear some people's like general thoughts on this. Our guest is Zolgar. Why don't you go first? Tell us a little bit of your history of the movie. Have you seen it before? How long has it been since you've seen it?
I think I've
General
seen it
thoughts.
once or twice before. It's been a long time though. Probably at least a decade, possibly pushing 2 decades since I've seen it.
Okay. So it's fairly fresh this watch.
Yeah, and definitely I noticed a lot of things I didn't notice back then. For an 80s movie, I have to preface that really, for an 80s movie, it's a lot more progressive than I was expecting it to be. I mean, what's her name? The woman in it.
Amber.
Yeah, Amber is not really just relegated to being the role of damsel in distress. She is a couple of times, but not for long or heavily. It's, like I say, more progressive than I expected. Overall, just really entertaining, unbearably stupid, but in all the best ways. It's it is the quintessential classic 80s Arnold action movie.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a good summary there.
It's I agree with the progressive angle, like, because she is a strong, independent character. She's living by herself, and she knows how to handle herself. But just like every other movie, they can't help themselves but have them kiss at the very end. I'm like, come on.
It was like an awkward, weird, like, it wasn't like forced.
I mean, I know they
kind of was.
They kind of, spent time together and they helped each other survive through this ordeal and whatnot. But they met. Arnold broke into her apartment, tried to kidnap her and take her to Hawaii, and then by the end they're kissing. I'm like, all right. Yeah. They just can't help themselves.
It's your first watch, Eric.
Traumatic experience, bonding. I don't know.
Yeah. You can chalk it all up to that. For me, anyways.
How do you rate it though? Because I remember you watched Gladiator, and this was one of the best movies I've seen.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, when you're seeing this,
in the pantheon of Arnold, or in the pantheon of all movies?
Just hey, now you finally got around to seeing it. You enjoyed what was the other one we did from the 80s? Big Trouble in Little China. You can appreciate the 80s. I don't know, finally seeing this flick. How's
of course,
it tracking?
I enjoyed this movie. I mean, I love Arnold. I love everything he does. So this is quintessential Arnold. You got everything that makes an Arnold movie: over the top action, the one-liners, the constant one-liners, which I really, really appreciate. And just the movie as a whole, it kind of combines two of my loves: dystopian futures and game shows. So I mean, ever since I was a kid, I loved game shows. I used to watch The Price is Right religiously every day. Summer vacation, I'm home. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I get my breakfast. I sit down. I watch Price is Right for an hour, and it was the best time ever. And Family Feud, of course, was a big staple for me as well. Richard Dawson wasn't my host that I grew up with. Whatchamacallit? Dude from Home Improvement, Karn. Richard
Al Borland.
Al Borland was the first Family Feud host that I experienced. Okay. Which is
he wasn't a bad one.
He was a host of Family Feud.
He was the host of Family Feud for a while, in the early 2000s, because that's when I grew up. Yeah. That's when I was a kid, so that's when I was watching it. But Al Borland on Family Feud.
He's not the worst, but he's not the best.
Right, exactly.
I think Louis Anderson. I wasn't really big on him.
I didn't know Louis Anderson.
Steve Harvey is crushing Family Feud.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the Steve Harvey feud.
He's probably the best since Dawson.
But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It's kind of, again, probably exactly what I was expecting, going into it. Sometimes I'm caught off guard by movies, last week when we watched True Grit, I went into it expecting something and it was completely different. But this was kind of exactly what it promised.
That's what you signed up for.
Right. Yeah. Wacky dystopian future. It's just a fun action movie all the way through. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a great watch. It's fun.
So, Eric, I have a movie suggestion for you.
Oh, let's hear it.
The original Rollerball.
Okay, I've
only seen parts of it, but that's even older, right?
One.
Isn't it early 80s?
I think so.
70s?
It's dystopic. It's actually got a lot of similarities to Running Man. It's kind of dystopic, themed around an ultra-violent blood sport that has taken over political arguments.
Okay, I love it.
It's 1975.
75.
Yeah, it's a classic, and it is another one that's so bad it's great. The remake was entertaining, but not good.
I mean, I feel like this genre of like dystopian future game show is sort of making a comeback. I mean, we have Squid Game, and then we obviously did Alice in Borderland for the show, which is a similar concept where people are forced to compete in this game, and you have to win to survive. I just love that concept. So this kind of hit the spot for me.
Nice. How about you, Brandon? It's been a while.
It's been a couple of years. Before that, probably a couple more years, but I like it. I don't know. It's definitely a movie I've seen many times, so it's kind of reminds you of like, why is Arnold like one of the biggest action stars? Well, for movies like this, they're turn your brain off, just watch the guy be what we signed up for. It's just like seeing The Rock right now. He's just what The Rock's gonna look like, act like, and be in his movies. Same thing with Arnold.
Right.
Like everybody on that helicopter in that fucking intro is like speaking English, and then you got this, whoa, there's people down there. We can't kill them. They just want food. It's like, where are you from? Like it's just never like in question. He doesn't bother at like changing up his accent. He just is like, you need a big guy to play the main character, and that's what he's gonna do, and he does. I'll say this is the only thing that, and this is probably gonna be like, I don't know, whatever it is, what it is, but I kind of feel like this is his worst. I'm sorry, how do I say this? I don't think his one-liners are as good as they are in other movies. I feel like these are very cliche, but this might be because of at the time when they're coming out. But like, he was singing them so much, it's I don't know. But then I watched Commando, and it was almost like,
yeah, it was almost like a parody of himself because he did the "I'll be back" line,
But it's making me think
87. This is before "I'll be back" from T2.
But he did use the line in Terminator 1 as well. I actually double checked that because it's in Terminator 1. It was the scene at the police station when he walks in to try to get to Sarah Connor, and the guy's like, "Well, you can't go back there," and he's like, "I'll be back," and then he rams a car through the wall.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Nice.
Let me hit you with this, guys. So as you'll recall, we we for our 100th episode extravaganza, we did an Arnold tier list. Do you remember where we ranked the Running Man?
This has got to be in the A tier.
Yeah.
No.
A.
This you guys must have had rose-colored glasses when we were doing this tier list, because we put it in the top tier, only behind Terminator 2, Predator, and Commando. So Running Man was basically number 4 best Arnold movie of all time. Above Total Recall and True Lies, you say?
No.
Honestly, I'm sorry.
And the first Terminator, and Last Action Hero, and Kindergarten Cop. I don't know.
Last Action Hero is A tier maybe even S tier.
Oh yeah,
it is A. It did make A tier for us, Last Action Hero, but yeah, Running Man was like in S tier, number 4 best movie.
No.
Yeah, I would not rate it that highly.
Must have been
after
late in the
seeing
show.
it.
It must have been.
I would put this B tier. It's fun,
I think I would go there too.
Not,
Yeah,
it's not one of his best movies.
Right.
B tier sounds right. B tier sounds right.
I don't think it's Arnold that's making it B tier. I just think like the 80s-ness and the cheesiness. Like I don't think it aged.
But it was
as
a
well
cheesy Arnold performance also.
Like Dynamo's costume and his car that he's driving around in looks like it's.
I mean,
built
Dynamo
out of,
was a
cardboard
complete
boxes that
fool.
they spray painted gray. Like, what are you guys doing?
None of us were old enough to really be around to soak this movie in and appreciate what it was. So we're just kind of watching it as kids and then seeing it when it was on TV and then watching it for like a podcast. But like, was this a big joke though? Like, it's like they're just having fun with it because like Dynamo, their vehicles are so dumb. Their outfits, their haircuts. Were they dumb?
It looks like the Tesla. It looks like the Tesla truck that they tried to come out of a few years ago. Like the blocky. It's just metal plates on the side of the car.
They didn't even bother making a 2019 art style. They just went like it looks.
Excuse me, it was 2017.
2017, but it was made in 87, and it's just like they're like, yeah, fashion has not changed since There's just like big screens you can type into and like put choke colors.
I love the technology. I will say I love that this like
80s tech.
era, this era of 80s future tech. You know, it's like we've talked about this before with movies like Alien and other movies that take place in the past but are depicting
Die Hard.
a
They
future.
even had security in its
Die Hard.
building that we were laughing about.
But it takes the technology from the time and imagines what it would look like, 30 years in the future. So it's all
Black
the
screen,
still,
green
it's the same
text.
aesthetics. Yeah, it's the same aesthetic, but it's just like there's either more buttons or like touch screens or it's just
more buttons.
It's funny.
Hold
they
on,
don't
Dave.
have the technology to make the new technology.
What about you?
Right.
Like, how was it for you revisiting this?
It was good. Like I said, I didn't remember it being as like 80s cheese. I do appreciate an Arnold movie. I do love the old game. I have like a fond place in my heart for Smash TV, which was essentially based off of this game. I mean, it's not going back and playing it now. It's fun. You can see why it's an arcade game. It's not that great going back, but no, this movie's fun. I love American Gladiators.
Yeah,
I love a lot of those kind of
Boss fights in the movie.
Gladiator. Yeah, it's got all those cheesy things in it. So no, it was good. It's not like Zolgar was saying. It's probably like A to B tier.
I would B tier
Arnold
sounds
in
right
his
to
pantheon.
me. After seeing it, I think B tier is the perfect place for
I
it.
think I can agree with all of this. I think, yes, I agree. Let it be
did not
known.
notice. Did you guys see who did the music for this movie?
No.
Harold Faltermeyer.
Okay.
What's he
who
known for?
also did the Axel F theme from Beverly Hills Cop. Everybody knows that one.
Yeah.
Do.
Okay.
He also did the Top Gun themes.
Ooh.
He's done a whole bunch of other movies, but it
So
was kinda
basically,
interesting to
he's
see
the 80s action movie music guy.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah,
I think he did help out with the new Top Gun movie, but I mean, he had a good 12-year gap in the 2000s between movies, so he's probably just living rich, high on the hog.
It's
from
that
his total
classic like
football
80s
money.
synth soundtrack,
I'm
it is
glad we're talking
so
about this.
80s, man. Like I
So,
noticed the
like with
soundtrack just because it's like whenever someone makes a stereotypical like parody of 80s songs, this is the kind of shit that you hear.
So, did anybody play Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation?
Guilty as charged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Some of it,
so
yeah.
I loved that game when it came out in high school in like 1997 or whatever, right? So 10 years later, there's a massive opening act in that game that takes place in the city Midgar, right? Dystopian future city and all that stuff. When you go to Shinra, the corporation that's kind of making the kind of whatever, the big company that's kind of running everything, their song is identical to this movie. Dun, 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 that synth piano, like, and it's over and over, and I couldn't take it anymore. So after the movie was over, the first thing I searched, Running Man, Final Fantasy VII. Boom, I find Reddit, and over the years, people have been saying, it's funny, you go on Reddit, you'll see people saying, has anybody thought of this or noticed this? I'm seeing this for the first time. Another person, boom, 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 up to like 15 people were like, they're all like, I'm here to announce that I also have made this connection. And it's I don't know. The song was played throughout the movie. So I just kept,
amazing.
I'm just glad you made a comment on that. It's so synth, cheesy 80s music.
It didn't have Dynamo singing, did it? No.
The opera.
That was
the opera singing.
The best one.
Listen, do you know something funny about Dynamo? The guy that played him, it's not funny at all.
Erland Van Lith.
He died the same year the movie came out. In real life.
Did he really?
Yeah, he died in 1987.
What happened? Like a heart attack?
Oh,
or
shit.
Probably. I mean, he was a big dude, so
Yeah.
it was probably something like that. But
He
yeah,
died
I
on set.
I was looking up the cast, and I'm like, I was looking at Dynamo's character. I'm like, he died in 1987, and I'm like, that's the same year the movie came out. I just thought that was interesting. This movie killed him. This performance killed him.
It
Possibly.
was that weird clear plastic and LEDs. He couldn't get it off, and he just...
Yeah, that costume was just...
That costume was so terrible.
That was something. Like at one point, well, even the characters joke about it because I think Amber was like, called him like a Christmas tree or something, and I'm like, that's exactly what he looks like.
I think it was Ben that called him a Christmas
Was
tree.
it? Okay.
And what was Amber's line about that? It's actually
She had it was a good kind of one-liner right before his demise.
Demise, yeah. And Laughlin there, that guy, I knew I recognized him, but he's from Alien.
He did
forgot.
look
Oh no
familiar.
shit.
Yep.
Yeplet Kato.
And
Yep.
we had Jesse Ventura in here, obviously, from Predator.
Jesse Ventura,
I guess they
Jim Brown.
I guess they became friends on Predator, and he wanted to
Yeah,
be, or he was
I could
asked by
see that.
Arnold or something like that. Which you could see that those guys were building up to have their big confrontation. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you could tell there's probably some kind of friendship. I mean, he's a big guy himself. He was great. It's almost unfortunate that he wasn't in it as much.
I know.
Like,
he
wasn't
just
that
was like in the background
big of a fight.
as like the security guard, where he was Captain Freedom doing his exercise videos, and then he was like the muscle for Killian or whatever. And then they just, they had all the stalkers were dead, so like, meh, let's get the Cap in there. But yeah, I think he was underutilized in this movie. I agree with that.
definitely was.
I mean, we also had is it Frank Zappa's son?
He's the one with the
Zappa?
beret that goes like,
Dweezil.
"Don't touch that dial." Yeah.
That's him. He had like a
Oh.
TV show back in the early 90s. I guess
Yeah.
he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure too, but
Well, let's just say right
yeah,
here,
lots of
the acting is not good in this movie across the board, except for one person. One person showed up, and it was not Arnold.
Richard Dawson.
It was fucking
Richard Dawson.
The guy,
He's fucking- he
I
knocked
think
it out of the
is
park,
reason
dude.
why. I think he's the reason why this movie was a success. Like Arnold would have been good just based off of but I think the legacy of this movie is because of the host. I think it's a good villain movie. Like the mini villains are fun, but
He was great. I mean, the fact that they really did a good job of setting him up to be that complete Two-Face. The scene when he runs into the janitor, all smiles like, "Oh, it's okay, you're good,
Yeah.
you're good, it's
Yep.
all good." And the moment that they're out of earshot, if he's still mopping floors here tomorrow, you're mopping floors here all month.
yes, you're right.
They
It's
set
like
him
little
up
things
real
like that,
quick
but-
to be the bad guy.
But his acting was so good. He is moving around. He is bringing energy. He killed.
I guess I don't.
his role.
Do you guys know the history behind like Richard Dawson's career? The only thing I know about him is Family Feud. Like, was he an actor, like a traditional actor before that?
I don't know,
check
but
out his
that's. I didn't even think about
IMDb
checking
page.
about people's.
Because like
careers
I was
after
like,
the movie,
he's I only know him as the game show host from Family
Right.
Feud from
I
forever
mean, it could have been
ago.
just like, hey, you're so
I
good
mean-
at that. Do you want to just be in a movie? Because we need one. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it off of a King book.
Like,
he had some
if-
stuff like in the
Oh.
70s, like
He was
he
in Hogan's
started
Heroes.
in the 60s. Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
he had
It's a big deal.
yeah, he was in Treasure Island. He was
Okay,
the
so
voice
he
on
has
Hong
acting
Kong
chops
Phooey.
then.
yeah, okay, yeah. Because I was like,
This is the
I was-
last thing that he has in his IMDb page
wow.
is the Running Man, though.
yeah.
Like, and I'm done.
this was his what should I call it? Magnum opus.
Magnum
Right.
Opus is great. They really did lean into his strong points though, like his interactions with the crowd when he's like talking to the old ladies and getting kisses from the cheeks from those.
I mean, he was
ladies.
always kissing the contestants on
Agnes.
Family Feud and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Smoozing with the ladies.
Yeah, they play into him very nicely. I guess I don't know. I mean, we're talking about a movie that's what did we say, 36 years old. Do we need to hit up the plot any further, or
No, but what do you guys think about
kinda
the dystopian future, and then looking at our world today? Like, do you think if shit went down, do you think we would do this today? Are we still like that bloodthirsty?
I could see it.
I think we're more bloodthirsty, if anything.
It's morbid. It's this morbid, like, human nature thing, you know, where we want to see people just tear each other apart.
Yeah, I have been waiting for something like this to show up on TV basically since I've watched this movie the first time.
Yeah, like American Gladiator, Battle Dome. Like, they have had shows like this. Obviously not fighting to the death, but it's the same idea. You know, you trap these normal people in, you know, with these, especially like, I don't know if you guys have seen
Well, they're
Battle
using
Dome
felons
like,
for this.
Yeah.
So you don't, so that's like
Felons.
makes it okay. That makes it
Right.
okay.
Felon.
To, like,
yeah, exactly. That's the whole
to
point.
do it. That is true. I mean, technically, yes, but they're competing for years off of their sentence, or like to get pardoned or whatever, depending on, I guess, whatever crime they did. But like, that is something that I could completely see
I mean,
believable.
The government controlling the media portion of it is, I mean, probably already happening already. So that's completely believable.
Well, that's
and
the
it's
big
same
cry
thing
people
with-
have
Podcast
is that,
has been
like,
censored.
Well, that's the big cry that people have on both the left and right side of America, at least, right? That like the media is controlling, like somebody's manipulating what we're seeing and hearing and stuff like that, right? But they know they've cracked the code. They know what's up. But like, I think there is definitely got to be some influence. I mean, especially when you look at these deep pockets, these people are influencing each other. I mean, that's obviously happening in some capacity. I mean, you look at football. Like, what are we watching? We're watching people lunge and throw their bodies
MMA,
at each other to take
boxing.
someone down. UFC is
Pro
huge.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the MMA, pro wrestling, you know, they're completely different things.
It's human nature. I mean,
yeah.
Look at gladiators in ancient Rome. It's the same thing. We used to watch people kill each other and fight to the death until we were like, maybe we shouldn't do that. You know?
And I mean, you know, in slightly more recent movies, you've got the reimagining of Death Race. I mean, that's basically Running Man, but with cars.
Right. Yeah. It's just, yeah. I think it's just this fascination, like human nature fascination with.
Well, I don't want to be dark.
Big Squid Game was. Squid Game like blew up, and that was kind of.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, people love
murder games.
Yes,
and to go with Squid Game, honestly, how many people in poverty, if given the opportunity to make boatloads of money, but they might die, how many people would actually sign up for that?
I bet a lot of people.
Be a lot, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you have to murder people to do it. People, hands start going up all over the place.
Yeah, it's wild, man. People have it's very human. Like, that's, I think, some of the draw of this movie is, like, it's ridiculous. Like, how, you know, it's a parody. Like, how can we have a game show where we take these people and we watch them die and watch it? Like, that's the number one show, and the government's like funding this. Like, but all right, maybe not to that extreme, but it's still based on something in us, like you said, with like gladiators or Squid Games. Dude, Ukraine and Russia are having a fucking war. People are on TikTok making clips of video. People are going YouTube and make shorts. There's millions of videos with millions of views of people just watching clips of the war. You know, like people. Yeah,
people are making
and
like
it's
money
real
off that shit too. Yeah. For other people's strife.
The horror genre exists for a reason. People get into like movies like Hostel and Saw. Like, we like to see.
Yeah,
it's
just morbid. Morbid curiosity, and like when you watch
alive.
When you watch an MMA fight or a boxing match, you want to see a knockout. You want to see someone get hurt. You know, that's what you're waiting for. That's what you're there to see. So it's all human nature.
When people watch NASCAR, when do they cheer the most?
Exactly. They want to see the crash.
Sadly, yeah, when the accident happens. Yeah.
When they turn right. They're like, oh my god!
It's actually
happened?
left.
What's going
Dave.
on here?
You don't know your NASCAR.
I know they all. They
No, that's
always
the point.
turn
You turn
left. That's why.
turn right and you cause a crash.
Oh, there you go. That's funny.
There it is.
Yep.
What do you know? You're wearing a
it's
Mario
true.
Kart shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Don't talk to me about racing.
But I'll say another thing that part of the charm with this movie, though, I think, is that there are a lot of characters. Now, they're not like the best acted characters, but they don't need to be because they're ridiculous. Like when Sub-Zero comes out, I'm like watching this movie, like these are actually really stupid characters. Like they're actually
really
handicapped with the things that they have to do. Like they have a overweight Asian guy loaded up with all this padding, and he's got to stay on ice. Like, what if they leave the area?
Well, that's what.
What if they make him trip? They could just easily take this guy out, and they do.
That's what Jesse Ventura's character. That's what he was saying at the end of it, because they got him all dressed up in his suit.
He's got
with
his
all his
stupid
bulky,
robot
like
suit
armor and like guns and shit. And he's like, I don't want to wear this
Looks
stuff.
like
This is dumb.
Looks like
Like,
like a Toys R Us costume or something like that.
Remember the days when I would just go at someone with my bare hands? So,
Yeah.
but
But
It's kind of
it also makes sense that they would have those stupid, ridiculous costumes because, well, think of like video game characters. There's that aesthetic, and that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
draws people in.
Yes.
Is not
Oh, yeah.
it's not just the violence.
they're
it's
drawn
the
to the
style.
character. It's the character.
professional wrestler. It's
Yeah.
the professional wrestler persona. that
persona.
they're
Yeah,
putting
that's
out on
actually
there.
the pro wrestling is a great way to put that because
Yeah, absolutely.
it's those guys are basically a future extension of pro wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you see all these people in the crowd, they bring up. There's this portion of the show where they choose someone from the audience chooses the next stalker, and they're all like so giddy. They're like, I don't know who to choose. I love Sub-Zero.
You don't have to.
Dynamo.
We're doing both.
Right? Yeah. So like these people, they're invested. People who are watching are invested in the characters and the stalkers because those are like the celebrities of the game. So that everybody
It's fun,
has
though.
their own favorites. I like.
But
that,
it's you're right though. Like Zolgar, you're right. When you talk about like the costumes, it makes it memorable. Maybe 80s aesthetic makes it more charming today because it's like so bad. Like Dynamo is like ridiculous, but it's fun in the movie. I think they were just having fun with it. It probably was more of that wrestling approach. I mean, it's more of a meathead, lowbrow story, anyways. Like King probably wanted to have something more deep, but like let's just be honest. This is just like turn your brain off and have fun watching dumb shit
Fun.
happen.
Yep. Fun action.
You know,
sure,
and like
that's probably
Arnold's
why
never in trouble. I'm sorry, Ben Richards is never in trouble. It's not like he's like losing. Dude, his buddy from school gets killed. He gets zapped by Dynamo. He never even says anything about it.
Is this buddy from school? I
Didn't
thought
they
it was just
say
some
it's like
random
you're-
I
dude
thought
you
they
met
were
in
just.
prison.
I thought they were just in prison.
One
together.
was from
Prison
prison, the other
buddies.
one he met in like a childhood friend or something like that.
No, they were both. He knew them both in prison.
Oh,
Those were the two
oh.
guys that. Yeah, those are the two guys he busted out of prison with.
Okay, I thought they threw a line that like one
Which-
he knew was older. Well,
He,
anyways,
your school teacher friend because he was a
Right,
school teacher
that's what
before
it
he went to
was.
prison.
That's what
got it.
was,
Thank
yeah.
you. That's what it was.
That guy's arc was funny, like weird because he was like all about the satellites and the communications and like the very beginning. I laughed out loud at this like shitty 80s technology where he's like he looks over the guy's shoulder and he sees him put in like the 5-digit code.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can't get it to do it.
I love
can't."
it.
And he just keeps putting in the same 5-digit code over and over.
Did you see his hands
again.
though? He's like touching the keyboard like a madman. That's like that's
Yeah,
a
it's
movie
like
trope that
6
drives me
digits.
crazy. They don't
And
use
it's
mice
called
or anything. That they're just like
FXM7J.
That's what I'm
and
talking
it.
about with the
and
technology.
like fuck, Chico is like ba-da-da-ba. He's like shooting all these people, and all of a sudden he's just like, all right, like we're putting down, like we're shutting down this defense that the security has. And then this Chico guy just starts running, puts his gun down.
He's
and
like,
just starts
"Fuck it, I'm
running at this
going."
last gunner. And yeah, Schwarzenegger's like, Chico! And he's just running, and just like, head pops off. And that's when like friggin' nerd guy goes like, oh, you're like, I got it in. Like 5 seconds later, Chico couldn't wait 5 seconds.
Chico had to be the example.
bad Wi-Fi signal.
We needed to see that head pop, so it had to be someone. So Chico was the
Right.
sacrifice,
Yeah.
But it's the same with when he was doing like the hex code thing on the satellite uplink, and it's like this 3D graphic, and there's just like numbers flying up. I'm like, this is ridiculous, but it's great. it fits into this movie.
It's the meme of hacker typing, essentially. It's based all on this.
I mean, the whole, like, because you have the main story with Ben Richards and just trying to escape, but then you have like this side story of this resistance that's happening. That's basically trying to, take down the government and, reveal their secrets and, tell everybody that everything that they're seeing is controlled. They're being lied to, blah, 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 which
standard dystopian.
Yeah. It was
stuff.
It was fine, but all of that came to a head in like the last 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, which it just felt like, okay, we meet these resistance, this Mick guy, they upload the code to the satellite uplink, and then, and then that's it. They take out Killian, and then boom.
I know, the government could easily squash this rebellion and just lie about it. We nuked that city. I mean, we don't care about that city anyways, You
see that Mick, the leader of the resistance, was actually Mick Fleetwood?
Yeah.
From Fleetwood
Mac. He's the drummer.
I didn't recognize
now,
it until
I actually like Fleetwood Mac.
Later,
I adore the Rumors album. Anybody know anything about Fleetwood Mac? No? So what's crazy is they started in like the late 60s as a British band. It was like 2 guys, and they got like Fleetwood. He was on drums. All these people have changed, come and gone. He's the only one that's like still there. I think maybe like one other guy been like the original, or at least part of the original-ish lineup. But like Lindsey Buckingham and what's her face? The real popular female singer. I'm drawing a blank.
Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks, thank you. They were not part of the original lineup of the band. It's just crazy, but it's named after like, I guess, Fleetwood Mac, Mick Fleetwood. So he like is part of like created this band. I don't know. I just think it's interesting that Fleetwood Mac has this long history of all these people that come in under the name Fleetwood Mac. And I don't know. I love music, but seeing him randomly cast in the movie, I'm like, they got a TV show host, a real TV show host to be in this movie. Yes, he has some acting background, but still, they got Arnold Schwarzenegger. They got Paula
Frank
Abdul.
Zappa's kid.
Paula Abdul did all the corny 80s dancing shit. She choreographed that.
Oh,
that looked very like straight out of a Paula Abdul thing.
And those were
those
dancing scenes
girls.
They were long too. Like they did not skimp out on those. Like
it felt like a Universal Studios.
It was like
show
a whole
or something like that.
Yeah, it was a whole choreographed routine that they showed. I'm like, all right, this is cool, I guess, but I don't need this much of it.
It's all about the showmanship. You got to have that, and you got to have the pizzazz, and you got to have the Hollywood aspect to it.
I just think that like it was creative casting, just pulling in the unique people. I don't know. I think adds to the charm of this movie. It's just a mixed bag. It's not,
Jim Brown too, like a football player playing one of the other people. You got Jesse Ventura from wrestling as one of the other guys. So like it's a mixed bag there. Sorry, Eric, you were gonna jump in with something.
I was just gonna ask you guys who's your favorite stalker, because you got
Fireball.
You got Fireball?
Fireball.
Favorite? Okay. I was gonna say you got Sub-Zero, Professor Sub-Zero, Buzzsaw, of course, Dynamo, of course, and Fireball, Captain Freedom.
Fireball, no question.
Why Fireball? Is it the backpack? Is it the jetpack?
First of all, I'm a pyro. I have actually been a professional fire performer in my life.
Nice.
But also his aesthetic is, I think, the coolest of the aesthetics. The only one that comes close is Buzzsaw.
I like Buzzsaw.
And also, I mean, he's got a rocket pack. Can't go wrong with a rocket pack.
That's true.
That's
that
pretty
is pretty
sweet.
Badass. And a flamethrower.
And a flamethrower.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically Boba Fett. He's got a flamethrower and a jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And he dies in a really stupid way.
Also very true. He's taking his time with his murders. He's really trying to savor it, and Arnold pops out of the ceiling. Like, how the fuck did that guy get up there?
I know. I was picturing that, just like holding his entire body, scaling.
I wish the stalker fights were longer, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Is one of my critiques of this movie. Like, I was expecting those to be like, kind of like a cat and mouse situation where the stalker would be hunting them, and Arnold would be and his group would be running away, hiding, trying to come up with crafty ways to get them. But really, the stalker just shows up. It's one scene of them fighting, and then Arnold kills them, and then they move on to something else. I'm like, I wish they got more screen time with these stalkers, because they're supposed to be like the best of the best on this game show, but they get taken out pretty darn quick.
Yeah, and I mean,
pretty easily
by Arnold.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you look at with this. It's like, apparently this was the first time stalkers had died on this show, and you're like, these guys aren't that good.
Dynamo literally drives into a thing, and he flips over his vehicle. And he's
He
like,
did
okay,
that himself.
I know.
Did they never have even remotely skilled runners before? I mean,
Yes,
apparently
exactly.
they didn't usually get military contracts, but still. What?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, yeah, this is the first time these stalkers as any stalker has ever died on the show before. But all Arnold did was like trip a guy and then stab him, or like I guess he overpowered Buzzsaw and chainsawed his balls off. But
Yeah, that's the
Other than
only.
that-
That was really the only one that the kill was not
Strength
the-
instead of
Yeah, it was the only one that the
Lucker.
kill was not the stalker just being stupid.
the other stuff was like Looney Tunes
Yeah.
type shit.
I mean,
you know?
okay,
Wile E. Coyote.
Sub-Zero ran into a barbed wire garrote.
right.
Yeah.
That right there is it's stupid.
Well, I don't understand how his hockey thing works, because he like takes this little bomb thing and then he hits it and then it explodes. It's like, does it activate when you hit it and then it explodes when it lands on something? Like, I don't know.
It's-
It knows. It's
Don't question
science.
There is okay. This is my explanation for it. There is an RFID reader in it, and it's triggered specifically with his hockey stick, so he can do
Oh,
whatever
there
he
you
wants
go.
with it until he smacks it with a
Proximity.
hockey stick, and then that what's armed him.
Oh,
Then it boom.
That's smart.
Okay.
that's smart.
Problem solved. It's the
Huh?
future.
Well, there you go.
It's 2017. They got all this technology figured out by then, guys.
Who was your favorite, Dave? You with me? Is it Dynamo?
Dynamo turned out pretty creepy towards the end of it. But
Is he just your favorite
kinda
because he's
just
such a dope?
Stupid. So
He's just-
dumb.
He's singing opera. He's got all these fucking lights all over him. Like, I don't know. I'm probably a buzzsaw guy, I think.
And his
Yeah,
power
Buzzsaw.
was the dumbest. Dynamo. He had these like gauntlets that shot electricity, but as soon as the electricity is gone, he's got nothing. Like, he's not.
He's got a vehicle.
He's not. He's
Maybe
not
sings
a
it.
obviously peak physical
Try-
performance. He's just like as soon as when his electricity gone, or when his weapons are gone, he's like begging, like, "Oh, please don't kill me." I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
Also,
come on.
there is nothing funny about a dickless moron with a battery up his ass.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's the line. Thank you.
That was a good quote. Yeah, Buzzsaw was at least like he was riding a motorcycle with dual chainsaws hanging
Yeah,
off.
it takes
and
some skill. Like
he was badass, and you could tell he's just a psychopath that wants to kill some runners. So that's probably why I would pick Buzzsaw. But
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes.
He had
They're
to
all just
split.
me making jokes about the villains or these bosses. they're just dumb.
yeah.
over and over.
yeah,
It was funny. I'm looking at facts of the movie, and like this movie had real trouble with directors. They
Yeah, I went
had
to like 4 or 5 of them, right?
4 of them. The original director
Wow.
of Rambo, George Cosmatos, and the directors from Under Siege were all hired and then fired over creative differences. They had another guy who they wanted to hire, but he turned it down, and then they finally ended up on Paul Michael Glazer known for his acting role as Starsky on the 70s TV show, 70s cop show, Starsky and Hutch, which I did not know until I actually just read that. so.
interesting, cool.
Which is weird because I don't know, like, what was the vision that, like, I want to see some of these other people's versions of this, because this is
probably
a
like
movie-
Arnold always the guy.
Stupid. I'm not
Well,
doing
this is a movie that
Are you serious?
I think, like, we're doing all these fucking legacy remakes nowadays where we can't come up with new ideas for movies. Like, this is a good one that should be, like, brought
I was
back
thinking that
and
the whole
remade
time.
in something. You know what? Let's
They
bring
would
back
ruin it.
Arnold as a stalker.
Forget the movie. Let's make a video game. Come on.
Yeah, also cool.
Well, I was
If they
thinking TV
remake
show,
this,
but
you have Arnold in the Captain Freedom role.
There you go.
That retired
yeah.
stalker who gets pulled back in.
Yeah, that means super smart. Yeah.
That means that their rebellion failed and that the government is still in control, which ultimately makes the first movie moot. Which
They would have to do
A sequel or remake?
something else.
Like I say,
maybe just a remake. Yeah, that's
you
probably
do a
better
remake. You
choice.
have you cast Arnold Schwarzenegger
I
as
gotcha.
the Captain
Right, like
Freedom
Zolgar
role.
was saying. Yeah.
That's
he
a
would get
good
his ass
idea.
kicked. He's like old, but
Well,
it'd be funny.
but that's the point.
He's got a
because-
beard now. He looks.
Yeah, he's honestly too old to be that action hero stalker or the action hero. So you have him
That would be a
take
good
that
role.
retired character who gets roped back in at the end.
I'm giggling because I'm thinking of rated R Steve Harvey, like full on, like motherfucking it in the Richard Dawson role.
You always
always bring back a Family Feud host.
The current
Dave,
Family Feud
that
host.
is- I was struggling if they remade this movie. Who
That would
could
be
even touch that
insane.
role? And I think Steve Harvey is an excellent pick. That's a
It's like,
great
you gotta
idea,
have you gotta have a people
and it makes
person.
sense. It's like
Yeah,
on theme.
you gotta have that charisma, especially of a game show host like that. It was
The other one I could see in the Killian role,
Yeah,
I could honestly see Eddie Murphy.
oh
that
my
would be-
gosh, that would be
good.
That would
Sure.
be really good.
they got to be quick
Yeah.
talking, super charming, silly,
Mhm.
instantly likable,
a people person. Yeah,
Eddie
definitely.
smiles at
but
you.
can
You
play
heard
both
him.
sides and be a
You know.
complete ass.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I like I said, I think he could do it, and because I like Eddie Murphy when he is opposite somebody. I don't like it when he's opposite himself.
You know,
Yeah.
not a Flubber fan, or I'm trying to think of what was the other one? Professor Clump. That's
Oh
the
no,
one.
Clumps.
Flubber was Robin Williams. Was Robin Williams. Eddie Murphy was the Nutty
Oh,
Professor.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Professor,
Yeah,
Thank you.
Like, Norbit.
Norbit,
Norbit.
yeah. Apparently, in February of 2021, it was announced that a new adaptation was in the works.
Yeah, but I don't like the director that's on it. The guy that did Scott
Edgar
Pilgrim.
Wright from Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver.
Oh,
Shaun of the Dead. Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
That's different than what I saw.
The screenwriter was Michael Bacall, who co-wrote Scott Pilgrim.
Yes. Okay, that's what I saw. All right.
Screenwriter.
Well,
Said the adaptation was supposed to be closer to the novel, yada yada yada. But
If you make
I'd
it,
see it. I'd go see it.
yeah.
I would want.
I don't know. Do you
full-on rated R dark humor? Like I would say, like
That's what I was gonna
like
say. Do
Coen
you
Brothers.
go
Not-
this
I don't know if
like?
they would do this, but like something that like makes it serious, but like kind of funny.
Yeah, you have to have the humor in there a little bit. It can't
The
be
villains
like,
would have
I
to
don't
be
think
done.
it works just dark, gritty, super self-serious.
Not a Blade Runner kind of future.
Yeah, like that's not.
And
That's
also, it needs to be rated R.
Rated
Do
R.
not pull a RoboCop.
Yeah.
Do not pull a RoboCop.
But-
I mean,
But
I don't
almost-
know if the book.
remake. Sorry.
If you're it depends on if you're adapting the book or if you're remaking the movie.
No, the movie.
Because
That's what we want.
if you're remaking this movie, then you need to have that wacky stuff.
Can I nominate somebody? It won't be as charming as Schwarzenegger, but could it be our boy from The Boys, who plays Butcher, who also plays Dredd?
Oh, Carl
From
Urban.
Carl
Of course.
Urban.
Carl Urban?
Sure.
Now, I think I don't know if he's
I'd
strong
rather
enough
see
to
him as
lead
a
a movie.
stalker. I'd rather
Oh,
see him
really?
as a stalker.
Okay,
You want to know who I think would actually make a good replacement for Arnie in this one?
Ben Richards, yeah.
Batista.
Okay.
Oh, I'll take that.
He
I'll
is-
take
He's
that
got
all
the
day.
build.
He has got the comedic chops.
He does.
And
He does.
It'll probably end up being
actually, the other one
probably
I
end
could
up
see.
being Chris Pratt or something.
Oh,
The
God.
Rock.
I could
Pratt
also
or The
see
Rock.
it being John Cena, though.
The Rock, John.
The
Yeah,
Cena,
but John
he's-
Cena.
I do like me some Cena, but I don't know. That'd be tough. He does.
I can't see The Rock in this role. It just
No.
I'm not as much of a
We're just-
fan of The Rock as I used to
I
be.
can.
anyways.
filling it with
I
a
can
wrestler.
see The Rock in this role just because he's in everything these days. But I don't think he
He's
wouldn't be
next
my
Arnold
number
at
one.
this point.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my number one pick, but I feel like that's probably the direction they would want to go, But
unless they wanted to tone it back a little bit and go a little bit more like apparently what the novel was like, and make him a little bit more of an everyman.
Use his brain maybe to get out of the big fights instead of strength.
Mm-hmm. Bradley Cooper.
Find somebody pretty.
I mean, I was thinking Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that works too.
Then again, I will watch Ryan Reynolds in anything.
I agree. I would.
Yep.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's a good pick. Yeah, I just picture like cool scenes that they could do now. Like, let's say they kept the stupid character Dynamo, right? But just imagine like it's a dark room, and like you just hear the main characters like hiding and they're breathing, and all of a sudden they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And all of a sudden you just hear like, "La, la, 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 la." They're like, "What the fuck is that?" And they don't know where it's coming from, and then the lights are on, and they just like you just see this giant character just slowly walking at you. And there's like lights going on, LED lights.
All right,
like,
Brandon.
I think they could make the Dynamo character really badass.
You're a designer. How would you redesign Dynamo's suit to modernize it and make it look cool and not like a Christmas tree?
Oh, dude, have you seen any of these DJs and there's like Danger Mouse or something like that. Like they have like
Dead Mouse
LED
yeah.
suits.
Yeah.
Dead Mouse, thank you. Sorry, Dead Mouse. Like, I think
Face
that's
mask.
what I would do. I would just have a sick outfit of LED lights. But I don't know if I would make. Well, maybe you could. I don't know. Be like an overweight guy with a small vehicle. But like, I think you could really just make him Daft Punk kind of like cool. Like, music is playing. He's singing like opera music, but it's like Daft Punk background.
And to keep a nod to the design of the original, go with whatever you have in his suit. Have it laced with EL wire so that parts of his suit still light up.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Or you could even go with, you could also do like the fine LEDs so you can have things happening like lights rippling across it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, any of this would be so cool in like modern camera and modern...
I wish if this movie was made, the remake, I don't know. I guess he could still do it, but I would say going back to Zolgar's point about the professional wrestler, get all either current or former professional wrestlers to be the stalkers. Because like I could see like Stone Cold Steve Austin being Buzzsaw, something like that. There's Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe would be Sub-Zero. Like there's so many options that you could.
And if you wanted to keep Dynamo as a bigger guy, honestly, once again, I could actually see Batista taking that role and just having fun with it because...
Yeah. Oh, man. So many possibilities.
And actually, like, The Rock could be one of the stalkers, too, because he'd be super charming. He could be, like, Captain Liberty or whatever.
Captain Freedom. Yeah. He wouldn't... Yeah.
He could be like that.
The Rock isn't scary.
On, everybody? No, and, like, what I liked about Ventura is, like, he's rather handsome in this role. He's got a sweet turtleneck and a blue blazer on. He's got a butt chin going on and the hair. And he's just itching to fight and he's getting frustrated just hanging out with these guys. And he's just like, it's like, that's a cool character. And he seems like, I don't know, he just seemed funny. He didn't get too much time in this movie that I think that we wanted. But I think if you did like The Rock is very instantly charming. And I think making him a villain, but a likable villain, would be kind of fun.
He probably had something in his contract where he said he couldn't lose to Arnold or something like that. There's probably something in there that I don't know.
So basically,
I was kind of shocked at how that end fight turned out, and then you just don't see him again.
Just get the cast from like the Expendables or something and put him in this remake.
There you go.
This Running Man.
If you did a series, what if you did a TV series, season 1, season 2? You could do something kind of fun with these.
I mean, every episode.
A video game is a good idea too, though.
I mean,
video game would be nice.
Like sign on. You have your character, and like you create your stalker, and you go on, and people are trying to survive, and you could do a cool online game,
asynchronous multiplayer type thing.
Exactly.
Or not
asynchronous,
4 of them, and asymmetrical. Sorry.
Right, but there would have to be like maybe 20. People are online trying to make it through, and then 5 stalkers, are like hunting you down or something. That would be
pretty cool.
Because the Dead by Daylight shit is popular, and like they're just constantly throwing in characters into it. Like, have fun with it.
Oh
but
yeah, imagine
celebs would be.
that would be honestly a really cool concept where there's like they haven't really done this before, but like levels, you know, the higher rank you are, the higher level you are, and like as you're, you know, waiting for the person, whoever is the runner, to progress through each boss fight, and you're the stalker, you're fighting another player. Like you're watching this all happen, and then once they get to your level, you get tagged in as the stalker. Like they could do some cool stuff with this game
For sure.
You just said a word, watching. All right, did you guys notice this? Where are these cameras? So like when Ben Richards was flying the helicopter, where was the camera
it's movie
crew filming
it's a
this?
movie, man. You can't think too much about
the dead
it.
guys.
Capture his. Yes.
Well, because they
just like-
filmed the scene, the first scene of the movie in the helicopter, and they're making all these cuts and stuff, and it's the same footage that they show, and people are. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like,
Like they got a.
that's not how cameras work.
Though.
That's not
Or
how
even-
cameras work.
Right.
When they were doing when they take over the TV station and they start showing like the Killian is a liar
Yeah.
stuff. Like they got some guy in the back like with After Effects, like, you know, putting together all this stuff and stealing like. Where'd you guys get the footage of the skeletons that they saw like 4 scenes ago? Like they didn't show that.
Right,
They didn't even show that on
she's-
TV.
Listen, they all have cameras
Right.
embedded in their eyeballs, and they just took the footage from their brains.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
unfortunately, the only game
Again,
to come out
don't
for this came out.
turn your brain off at this one.
Came out in '89, and this game looks like absolute garbage. So
There was an actual Running Man video game.
oh,
What was
do
it
you fuck
on?
that up,
NES
man?
or something?
oh yeah, Commodore 64,
It's
Amiga,
like begging to be a video
Atari
game.
ST, and the Amstrad.
So
Like,
predating any.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
predates NES.
Wow.
it looks
Crazy.
it's the graphics are decent, but the gameplay looks like hot garbage. So I would just probably go ahead and
Well,
skip that.
there for the longest time, it was pretty well standard. If there was a movie adaptation video game, it was
Mhm.
garbage.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's still kind of true today, isn't it? Is it not?
Not as much so, but a little bit.
Depends. Like, there's not really movie adaptations of games that like tie in anymore. Like everything's just kind of
It's more of like the
franchise-based.
license. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
in the early 2000s, movie adaptations were like rampant. You know, like every movie that came out, there was a game on every single system. You know, and they were usually bad. The only one I have fondness for is the Revenge of the Sith game.
Oh, that's good.
I really like that game.
Dude, those Lord of the Rings games back in the day on PS1,
Riddick was
PS2 was fucking good. Riddick was really good.
was Riddick.
Yeah, they're few and far between.
There are exceptions
Yes.
to the rule, but
for sure.
And now we have games like Hogwarts, right? Well, that's just based off of a book. Is that based
right,
off
that's
the movie?
that's the
It's a
same thing.
genre.
It's based on it's just using
the-
the franchise and creating a new story instead of a direct movie adaptation.
Oh, I hear
But-
the dog. Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Do you hear my dog?
I heard somebody's dog, but
My
I don't have
dog
a
had her spade operation or surgery today.
Oh,
So she's wearing a cone and she hates it.
I'm hearing something. Is that your
I
kid
do
or
not
dog?
like the cone of shame.
no.
I'm hearing some
No, for 2
squealing,
weeks.
some squealing in the background. I don't know if that's a kid or a dog.
If I'm casing my kids, we got problemos.
It's kind of weird how like
My dog is
for as
ignoring me.
mixed as this was, how like I mentioned the Smash TV game earlier, like American Gladiators was spawned off of this too, and you know that ran for a while. Like how I mean, it was a moderate success, but like that genre kind of was almost born out of this. Like someone said when you were watching Alice in Borderlands, it's like, oh, you like the murder game show genre, and I'm like, I didn't know that was a genre first off, but apparently, like, this seems like it was
Yeah,
the first like
definitely.
big foray into the murder game genre, which is interesting.
At least in America.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Battle Royale predates this, but
sure. I don't think I've seen that one, but yeah, it was so big that Arnold used it as his campaign to run for governor of California. He used the Running Man, so
yeah.
it's
Oh wow.
it's a thing.
Well, I mean, the dude took the role in Terminator 3 to help promote his campaign run, so...
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I will be governor.
Right around the same time, yeah.
Which is not terribly surprising. Does anybody have a guess at what the meta score for this movie is?
It's gotta be
mid-round Metacritic mayhem.
We did a Metacritic mayhem of Arnold movies not too long ago when we did Predator, I believe, and they were all really low. So I'm guessing this is in like the 40s.
62%.
62. Brandon, you got anything?
I'm going 47.
55.
Oh, Eric has taken this one home. It came in at a 45.
See.
They're
all the Arnold movies are. No, we did this for True Lies. We did Metacritic mayhem on Arnold movies, and they were all surprisingly low. The highest rated Metacritic movie of Arnold's was the original Terminator, and it was in like the 80s or something.
I'm surprised that the original was higher than the second.
Higher than T2, yeah. I don't know why.
Which is insane. I don't know how you do that. But
yeah.
The Globe and Mail gave it a 25. So, some people really didn't appreciate.
We're not
the
saying
80s.
It's like the best movie ever made.
No,
but it is a damn fun movie, and it's a damn good Arnold movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, unless anybody's got anything else to kind of chime in on here, I think we've probably chatted on this one for long enough. Anybody else have any closing statements they want to get in?
No,
I did notice some funny I guess costume design where Arnold was wearing his World's Gym shirt at some point in the movie.
Yeah,
and
I noticed that too. Yeah.
They didn't even fucking get this guy to change into wardrobe. He just showed up, and he was smoking a cigar in that scene too. It's like he just came in off the street and he's just like, I'm here to act. And then like, all right, go on in. But no, I think that's good. Why don't
Let it be known we've said everything there is to be said about this movie.
There's nothing else ever to be said.
Nothing
no one else
else
can ever do it
ever.
again.
Exactly.
If they do another one,
Doo-doo.
one,
You said doo-doo.
I will absolutely go and check that out though. So it's good to hear. So why don't we take a break again?
Don't touch that dial.
And we will come back after a couple minutes, and it'll be time to get into a new game. I don't think we played this on the show before, so it's going to be an interesting
new
one.
game. Always love a new game.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back for our first ever episode or game of Nomad Feud.
Oh,
where
let's go.
You three are going to be playing on the same team as a family. We're going to have Brandon, you're at the top of my screen. You're going to be the leader of the family. And then we'll go Eric and Josiah. And you guys are going to be playing a little bit of Family Feud with me today.
I have to warn you, I'm a pro at Family Feud, so
Okay.
Hey, it's a great game.
I
So
love Family Feud.
I'm ready to go. I don't really have a point total here or anything. If you guys solve 2 of these 3, we'll send you guys to space camp. How's that?
Sweet.
We'll send you to
That
be live
island
in the studio audience of The Running Man.
Oh, I was gonna say
yeah.
that island
in
the
Hawaii.
winners went to,
Price and
but actually
whatever,
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, today our first topic is, and we'll start you guys with an easy one. Brandon, you'll be up first, and then we'll go around the horn on my screen, and we will have you guys try and fill in the blanks.
Can
here.
can we corroborate like in normal Family Feud?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the feud, but whoever's turn it is gets the final say of what their guess is. So. All right. Let's see. For today's first puzzle, we surveyed 100 people. Name a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we'll start off with an easy one as soon as Brandon's camera comes back.
Terminator.
All right. Let's see. Show me Terminator. That is the number one answer. Congratulations.
Number one. Oh.
To wherever Brandon
to
is.
wherever Brandon has gone.
All right. Number two.
Here.
Over to you, Eric.
All right, let's go.
Tell me an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Let's go with... I'm torn between Predator or Commando. Let's go with Predator.
Predator. Let's see. Survey says.
Really?
You get a big fat.
Are
X
you
on
kidding me?
Hey.
Come on.
I'm just going by FamilyFeudInfo.com.
All
That's
right.
where we are pulling this one from.
Well, these
that is your first
whoever
strike.
whoever answered this survey have no taste in Arnold movies.
I agree.
How is
sorry.
Predator not like number 2
Predator?
on the list?
I don't know. Where
I mean,
the
I
survey
could
came
have
from.
I could have went with like T2, but that was boring. So I don't know.
Well,
Whatever.
Let's see.
All right,
Let's see what
over
Zolgar has up.
over to
Zolgar, you
Zolgar.
are up next. Name me a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There's so many.
I don't
Okay,
know. I don't
so
know
we're-
when this
okay,
survey
so
was
top
done either.
the top answers.
So let's see. We are talking Family Feud style. So 100 people were surveyed. We don't know exactly when the survey was done.
Just 100 normal
gotta go-
people. Yeah.
I've got to go the safe one. Terminator 2.
Yeah. That's the safe route.
Terminator 2, unfortunately, is not on
Are
this
you-
list.
What? Unless they mean the Terminator franchise.
Yeah,
as
does
Terminator. How would
Terminator-
Terminator not?
Yeah, does Terminator count as all Terminators? It must.
It's the Terminator, so I'm gonna have to say no on that one. I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
Horse.
bullshit. Is fucking Commando on this goddamn list?
I would say Commando has got to be the next guess, right?
Brandon, you are up. There are 2 strikes on the board. You guys got 5 spots to fill in. Otherwise, we're going over to the other family to steal. Brandon, it is your choice. Tell me a movie starring Arnold.
I just told you, Commando.
Got to be Commando, yeah.
I am.
What?
Dude,
This quiz,
sorry.
this Family Feud is bullshit.
Number 2, Kindergarten Cop.
What?
Number 3, Total Recall.
What?
Number
Okay.
4, the movie we had just watched, The Running Man.
I would think The Running Man would not be on the list. I feel like most
Hey.
people don't know that movie.
If Batman and Robin is the next one, I'm done.
True Lies, and the final one on the board was Twins.
That's ridiculous.
How
We
was
started-
some of those-
Predator not on?
We
the
started with the best Arnold movies, and 3 out of 4 of them weren't up there.
Hey, you take your gripes up with
Dave, you and your
FamilyFeudInfo.com.
games.
I will. I'm gonna.
This is what I have to say to Family Feud Info.
Yes, exactly. Watch that video over it. Watch the video
All right.
version for that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, next question
Oh,
up on the
man.
board.
That's
Brandon,
rough.
you ended that one, so we're gonna start this one with Eric.
All right.
Eric, top 6 answers again on the
Oof.
board.
All right.
This is a better one because this is not a, I don't know, what is it, conjecture. This is just true fact.
Okay.
Fine.
Name something Arnold Schwarzenegger would look funny wearing.
So okay, this is just opinionated. Would look funny wearing.
Fix number 3.
Tell me, I do have numbers on this one, so
No,
this was,
fix number 3.
I know you
sorry.
have an extra dash.
There you go. Whoop, whoop.
like
There you
like
go.
Thank you.
I don't know, like a dress.
Let's see.
got
Show
two, too.
me a dress. Hey, number 1 answer. There you
Oh,
go.
sweet. Number 1, baby.
All right. We're going to go over to Zolgar. Tell me something that Arnold Schwarzenegger would look funny wearing.
A clown costume.
Ooh, clown costume. That does sound funny, but that is not on the list of things that I have in front of me. That is 1 strike. We're going back to you, Brandon. Tell me something Arnold would
tutu?
look funny wearing.
Does that count as a dress? I don't know.
I don't know. Like a dress to me is like going out to dinner, and then a
Right,
tutu
like
is like
yeah.
a ballerina.
You know what? I will accept that answer, as that is the number 3 answer on the board. A tutu. Oops. Fix that.
Okay.
All right. Back to you, Eric. You've got 1 and 3 down. Got a couple left up here. Something that Arnold would look funny wearing.
His birthday suit.
Yeah, that's not a. Well, I don't know about funny.
I don't know if he'd look funny.
This isn't Steve Harvey's Family Feud. Look
Right.
at this family friendly over
Nothing.
here. Come on.
A kilt, maybe? What do you think? Like a kilt? Bathing suit? Like a Speedo?
A Speedo is not bad.
So wearing women's clothing is what's funny, apparently. Like wearing a giant muscular man wearing non-muscular clothing.
like a fake mustache. I don't know. Some googly eyes. Fucking, I don't know. Sure,
Well, they
let's
didn't
go
like
with
the clown.
Glasses? I don't know.
Hey, I mean, I was gonna say
I like
Brandon was pretty close there.
I like Speedo. That's a funny one, right? The old
All right.
banana hammock.
Let me go ask the judges. Judges,
Maybe.
over here. Nope. They are going to give that one to you. Thong was number 4.
See, I said
on
banana
the list.
hammock.
Steve, yeah, that's what puts you over the top.
Hell yeah.
Banana hammock.
Let's go.
All right, you guys got 3 answers left and only 1 strike on the board. Heading over to Josiah for this one. Tell me something Arnold Schwarzenegger would look funny wearing.
Let's see. Based off the theming so far, I'm going to say a bikini.
There you go.
Let's
There you
see.
go.
Survey says, show me bikini. Hey,
Ooh,
we got
Zolgar.
one. It comes in at
All
number
right, so
5.
a wedding dress? I mean, like...
That counts as dress.
Okay, all right.
I think that counts as dress.
So it's all women's clothing.
high
so, like,
heels.
unless it's
High
a kilt.
heels. High heels. It's got to be up there, right?
High heels is what I was thinking. I mean, tutu was actually also my first thought, but
Right.
I was thinking that people might conflate that with dress.
That's what I was.
so-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't say high heels, I'll say it.
This one is on Facebook Family Feud Cheats.
Cheats.
.com. So I
Well-
don't know what the fuck that is, but it's just where this
Good.
this
I'm gonna
survey came
do.
from.
I'll do heels. I'm gonna do heels.
Let's do it.
No, there's a big strike there. We got
That's not as sexy.
2 answers
apparently.
left
Not
on
funny.
the board.
I guess
No,
not.
Not
Look
sexy
at my
enough.
calves, the heels.
2 answers left on the board. What would Arnold
Eric,
Schwarzenegger look
Going
funny
over to you.
wearing?
You see a theme going on here on the board.
There
so
is
let's
definitely
just-
a theme. We
just
should
keep
probably
it at
just
that.
roll with it. How about a women's wig? You know, like
No.
long hair. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Hmm.
what other women's
Daisy
clothing
Dukes.
items are there? Short
Daisy
shorts, shorty shorts. I don't know.
There are other women's clothing out there besides that, but yeah.
Tube top,
A nice blouse.
Tube top.
sports bra.
Look at
Sports
my
bra.
blouse.
A
bra in general.
A bra is a good answer. A
bra
bra is a
would be
good
funny.
answer. I think I will go with bra.
Survey says
Yeah.
that is the final answer there for bra. There is 1 left.
Man, it's up there and we're missing it. It's just
And
like
it is number
something
2.
feminine that's super ridiculous. It looks like a tutu. It's between a tutu
Like-
and a dress.
Like I say, I'm gonna go with Daisy Dukes, like super duper short shorts.
Super duper short
All right.
shorts. Let's see.
Good as
Survey
any.
says. Sorry, that is a miss. The final answer was tights,
Tights.
which he kind of wore today during.
Yeah.
He wore during Running Man.
Okay, that is not an accurate. That there's nothing funny about tights. Arnold Schwarzenegger in tights. I'm sorry.
He's got a great ass.
Maybe they say pink
Granted,
on,
also,
on the butt. I
I didn't
know.
really think there was anything funny about him in a thong either, because I mean, the dude's a bodybuilder.
He's
That's
wears
true.
worn thongs, yes, in his lifetime.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a Speedo. That used to be his uniform.
Dave, is this
True.
the same? Is this the
Very
same
true.
bullshit site that the last one was from, where they didn't
No, this
recognize
is a different
fucking
one. Predator
in his
Hey.
best
Or Commando.
movies?
or Terminator 2.
Or
Yeah.
Terminator 2.
We're rioting.
I don't know. Well,
Is this the end of summer? Or I mean, is this the end of Summer of Arnold? Is this the last Arnold movie of
Listen,
the summer?
it doesn't have to be.
I don't think we have one yet in August. I mean, we could. I mean, the summer's not over, so it's really
Doesn't
anybody's
have
guess.
to be
I think
the-
Arnold.
The end.
I think
the
Arnold
end.
tells us when the summer of
We
Arnold
gotta
is
do
over.
Terminator or something.
Terminator,
well,
Total
great.
Recall.
Thank you, guys.
Whatever.
Hercules in New York.
Yep. Add it to the
Conan.
queue.
Do that
I've
in
never
yours.
seen Conan's.
We're having a hard time getting much movies done right now, unfortunately.
Okay.
Mm. Well, Zolgar, before we go, why don't you give us a little final plug here before let people know how they can find you and get a hold of you or hear more of your sweet, sweet voice.
My voice is not sweet, but
like a songbird.
all right. If you'd like to listen to my idiocy, you can find us on pretty much all the podcatchers at Two Idiots and a Dog. You can also find us on all of the social media platforms at TIAAD Media. We are currently kind of possibly changing websites. Right now, our website is podpage.com/TIAAD Media. But like I say, that might be changing soon. I don't know. Yeah, that's basically about where you can find us. We also have a Discord server and have all kinds of nonsense on there.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for joining us. It was a
Yeah.
It was a nice guest. Nice chatting with the Running Man about you. It was with the Running Man. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to say that
Chatting
sentence
with
out
the
loud?
Chatting with the
Man.
Running Man. No, I'm good. I think it's getting late. Let's
Yeah, I'm ready to
this
wrap
one
this
up.
puppy up.
Eric, hit us with the socials and let's get out of here.
All right. Well, if you want to follow the Nomads of Fantasy, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. You can join our Discord at thenomadsofantasy.com/Discord. You can play our game, whatmapgame.com. If you like guessing video game maps, you can email us, nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com. You can, I don't know. That's about all you can do. Listen to us, watch us on YouTube,
Send us high fives.
at Nomads of Fantasy, twitch.tv/Nomads of Fantasy. I think,
Sounds fake.
yeah, I think that's all I got for you for this week. Thank you, Zolgar, so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And as always, safe travels, Nomads.
Only in a rerun.
Thank you for the applause.
This is no game. Standing in the dark, I swear I heard you calling my name. And I knew things had changed. No pain, no gain. Something in your eyes just told me that this nightmare would end. And I had found a friend. Shouted from the highest steeple, let it out to all the people. Hey! Play it on the loudest speaker, burning like the highest fever. You hit the right spot.
You cold-blooded bastard. I'll tell you what I think of it. I live to see you eat that contract. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine! Ah!